Hello, welcome to Crafting with Lee. Today I'm going to make this farmhouse sunflower wreath. These are the supplies I'm going to use to make this wreath. I'm going to start by adding pipe cleaners to my wire frame. I'm using an 18-inch wire frame, and it only has 3 bars. Normally I use a 14-inch frame with 4 bars. The way this is different is you're going to lay down the pipe cleaners after you twist them 3 times and add the next one there, and you're going to do this for the entire wreath. So you're just going to start at a crossbar. You're not going to do every crossbar. Alright, after you've added all of them, it adds up to 22. You could probably add more or less depending on what you like. Now I'm going to open all of the outside pipe cleaners so I can add my mesh. I just do this because it makes my life easier. I'm going to go ahead and apologize now. I get off the screen a lot making this wreath just because it's so much bigger than what I normally make, and my camera is only up so high. Alright, I'm going to start by gathering my 21-inch jute mesh. I'm going to start where a pipe cleaner is to the left of a crossbar, just because I like to attach it to a crossbar to begin with, and it'll make it seamless when it goes around. The mesh will end where this began. And now I'm just going to secure it with a zip tie. Alright, I'm going to make 12-inch poofs. And this jute mesh is really soft, so it doesn't really hurt your hands. And I'm just going to twist once because I'm going to add more things. And I like to fluff them as I go. You just kind of grab a handful and make sure the outside seams are underneath when you pull, and it makes a really pretty poof. Now, once I got the outside done, to move to the inside, I just go up into the closest pipe cleaner and wrap it once, and then I'll go around the whole middle, and then the very last poof I make, I'll open that back up where I started and add it in, and then secure with a zip tie. So then it's perfect. It goes around and ends where it began. All right, I'm going to use 12-inch jute mesh to go into my ties. And I end up using 2 rolls, and I'm just going to knock them off onto the floor. I'm going to get it as straight as I can, and I'm just going to use this glass jar to hold the mesh from falling off onto the floor. And when I'm doing any kind of ruffles or curls, I like to make the beginning look pretty. So I'm just trimming it off. I'm going to cut this at 20 inches, and I'll need 22 of them. Now you'll see I'm going to go over all the way, and I'm going to cut it not on the number 1. That's because my number 1's starting to get cut lines in it, so I need to move it around on the mat so it doesn't keep digging into the same place. So I just went over to 25 and cut that. Now I'm going to go to 24 and cut at the number 4. So there's still 20 inches. It's just not cutting on the same spot over and over again because it'll wear into your mat. All right, I'm going to do the technique called Woodland Ruffle. I've never done this before, but this particular wreath, I needed to make curls, and I needed to make it really full, and I thought this was a great way to do that. So what you'll do is you'll just twist one side 3 times, and then turn it around and twist the other side 3 times, and then you crumple it together. Now I'm going to show you another way to do it. I was having trouble holding one side while curling the other. So I'm going to curl one side 3 times, and then I'm going to turn it around. And now I'm just going to place something heavy on it. And this just keeps it from moving, so I can go ahead and do the curls on the other side. And you just kind of walk your fingers together to crinkle it together. Now to add it to my wreath, I'm not going to open my ties because I want this wreath to be really full. I'm just going to twist one time because I'm still going to add ribbon. And I wanted my ruffles to be vertical, not horizontal. I want them to be sticking out. And this is what it looks like when it's all filled up. I put one in each tie. All right, I'm only using 2 different ribbons on this wreath, so I'm going to need 22 of each one. And I'm going to cut them at 12 inches. So I'm just using my ruler to make it easier. I don't suggest doing all 22 at once, just because it'll get so thick that your ribbons won't actually be 12 inches. I think I did 10 at the most, maybe 11, I can't remember. But you'll just put into the seam and cut it. And then when you turn it over, slide your scissors in there and cut that. All right, after I cut all of my ribbon, I went through and dovetailed the ends. And this just gives it a really pretty finished look. Okay, to add my ribbon, I'm going to stack them on top of each other and then fold them in half. And then where I have a crease, I'm going to pinch it together. And again, I'm not going to open my ties. I'm just going to lay this on top. And now I'm going to twist 3 times. And that just secures it really well so it doesn't come undone. And then I'm just going to use a glue stick to roll down my pipe cleaners. And then to fluff my ribbon, I just make an X. And I like to do it on opposite sides, but you can do whatever looks right to you. Alright, I'll show you again. I fold it in half and I pinch it, add it on top. I twist it 3 times. And try to twist it pretty tight. You don't want your ribbon to slip out. And I'm going to go around and add ribbon to each pipe cleaner. And that's what it looks like when it's done. Now I'm going to add flowers. I debated on whether or not I wanted to cut each flower apart and add it individually. But in the end, because I wanted flowers throughout, I decided to just keep them in their bouquet and add them that way. And since they're wire, it's easy to position them where you want them. And to secure it to the frame, instead of twisting, because it's so thick, it's hard to twist at the bottom. You can see right there, I was trying to bend it and it just was not working. I'm going to use a zip tie to attach it, and then I use my wire cutters to bend it. I didn't want to cut it off just because the end is nice and smooth on the bouquet, and if for some reason it was to poke through, it wouldn't hurt anyone's door. But if you cut it, it could get sharp. And see there, I pushed my zip ties around because you don't want anything sharp poking out the back. And now I'm just going to bend it. I was just breaking the plastic so I could bend the stem so it doesn't stick out. Now this part takes a little bit of time just to position the flowers where you want them. I didn't know if I wanted to keep them clustered or if I wanted them completely separated. So I just kind of messed around with it until I was happy with the way it looked. I think this would be really pretty if you got a bouquet of like wildflowers where they're all different. I was having a little trouble with that one. You just kind of move the mesh around and then you can get it to stay where you want it. And then it doesn't look like you put them in there together. Alright, see here's the whole bouquet. I'll show you how I add it. So you just push it down to where you want it to be. And then I just turn it over. And I bend it. And then I'm just going to secure it again with a zip tie. Let's just make sure it doesn't move anywhere. or falls through. You don't want it to poke out too far in the front. And then with this stem, it worked out to just tuck it under the wire. And then I'm just going to separate it again. I actually used some white hydrangea flowers in this wreath. For some reason, my camera did not record that or didn't save it. But the way I cut these right here and the white, I just go through and individually add those where I see holes. I'm sorry I don't have that video, but I do it just by sticking it through to the back and then twisting. And then this is what it looks like when it's finished. If you have any questions about that, just let me know and I'll try to help you. I really don't know what happened. I don't know why it didn't record. But if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below, or you can email me at craftingwithlee@yahoo.com. Thanks so much for watching, and if you like my video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.